Leeds International School, Primary 3, First Term, ICT, Unit 3, Understanding Windows 10. What is an operating system? So children, here we are going to study about operating system. Operating system is the most important software that runs on a computer. So operating system is the most important software. So if we want to work with a computer in a proper way, the most important software is the operating system. It is a software that lets us communicate with the computer. So by using this operating system software, we can communicate with the computer. So look at the first point, children. Some example of popular OS operating system used on desktop and laptop computers are Microsoft Windows, Linux and Mac OS. So here I have given you the most popular operating system used on desktop computers as well as on laptop computers. Second point. Android and iOS are examples of popular operating system used on mobile phone. Even in these mobile phones, children, we can find this operating system. So the most popular operating system are Android and iOS. Third point, some of the functions of OS are OS operating system. So here I have given you two functions of operating system. Number one, it controls the working of different hardware devices attached to the computer like keyboard, mouse and monitor. It controls the hardware devices. Do you know what is an hardware? Yes. The devices that we can touch and see, we call it hardware devices. So hardware devices are attached to the computer. So it controls the hardware devices. So I have given you example: keyboard, mouse and monitor. It keeps track of all programs on which we are working. So it keeps a track. Each and every program what we work on, so it keeps a track. Microsoft Windows operating system. Microsoft Windows or MS Windows is a graphical user interface based OS. Graphical user interface means, children, you can interact with the computer by using OS, that means operating system. We do not have to remember text-based commands to operate the computer. So to operate the computer, you don't want to remember text-based commands. Those days, children, if we want to use the computer, we have to remember text-based commands. So nowadays, we don't want to remember this text-based command to operate the computer. It has small pictures called icons. So in the computer, you can find small pictures. We call it icons. You can carry out tasks on a computer by clicking, pointing or dragging the icons. So you can carry out your own task on a computer. You can click on icons. If not, you can point on icons. If not, you can drag the icons. It is easy to learn and use. It's very easy to learn and use. It allows you to work on many programs at the same time. You can use many programs. You can open many icons or many programs at the same time, and you can work on each and every program at the same time. Starting Windows. When you switch on a computer, the screen appears automatically. When you switch on the computer, the screen automatically. This screen signifies that Windows OS is being loaded into the computer memory. So from this screen that you can identify that Windows OS, that means Windows operating system, it gets loaded into the computer memory. This process of loading the operating system after a computer is switched on is called booting. So this process, the switching of the computer and Windows OS get loaded into computer memory, we call this process as booting. During booting, the computer performs necessary action which makes it ready to use. So the computer performs necessary actions uh, and it makes the computer ready to use. After booting, the following screen appears. So after booting, the following screen appears. The figure 2, we call this a login screen. Figure 2, we call this as login screen. So in a login screen, children, if you have entered a username or a password, you have set up a username or a password, it asks for your username and password. So we add this username and password, children, for your computer security. For secure your data, we use this username and password, so no one can log into your computer without your permission. So if you don't want any username or password, you don't want to set up a username or a password, just you can click on this sign in and you can use the computer. Figure 2, we call this login screen. Figure 1, children, you can see another picture. Figure 1, this is the first screen that you can see when you switch on the computer. This is how the OS being loaded into the computer memory. So figure 1 and figure 2. The figure 2 is the login screen and figure 1, it is the operating system, it gets loaded into the computer memory. Desktop. The first screen that appears in the monitor after Windows OS is loaded is called desktop. So when you switch on the computer, children, the first screen that you see, we called it desktop. Even in your previous grades, you have studied about this desktop, okay? So don't forget, the first screen that you see in your computer after Windows OS is loaded, we call it desktop. And in desktop, children, you can find these small pictures. In our previous slides, we have learned what are these. We call these icons. These are icons. Okay, these small pictures, we call these icons. And also you can find the taskbar. We call this taskbar. By using the taskbar, you can switch on the switch off the computer, and you can change the time, dates, and you can connect internet. So likewise you can do these things by using the taskbar. So in this desktop, children, you can find icons as well as taskbar. Icons. The small pictures in desktop are called icons. So in the previous slide also I explained you about icons. So the small pictures on the desktop, we called it icons. When we double click an icon, a window gets opened or a program gets executed. So when you double click, so if you want to open an icon or if you want to open a program, what you have to do, children, you have to double click. Okay, you have to double click. When you double click an icon or a program, it gets open. If you open an icon, the icon gets open. If you double click on a program, the program gets started. Executed means it gets started. Third point, double clicking on this PC. There is an option called this PC. A window gets open and you can check the content of your computer's hard disk. Okay, hard disk is the main place where we store all the programs and icons. Okay, you can see, you can check the content of your computer's hard disk, whether you have inserted any CD or DVD, and also you can see whether you have uh, ported a storage device, whether you have inserted a storage device such as a pen drive. So when you insert a pen drive, you can see it by using this PC option. By using this PC option, you can see whether you have inserted a CD or a DVD or any other storage devices. Usually we use this pen drive. Usually we use this pen drive. Okay, right. So the fourth one, children, when we delete a file or a folder, it goes to the recycle bin. So when you delete a file or a folder, So if you have any unwanted file or folder, you can delete it. So when you delete, children, you can find it in the recycle bin. You can find it in the recycle bin. Taskbar. The taskbar is the long horizontal bar at the bottom of the computer screen. So the taskbar, children, you can find it at the bottom of the computer screen. Long horizontal bar, we called it taskbar. Important parts of the taskbar. In taskbar, you can find important parts. Number 1, start button. So by using start button, children, you can when you click on the start button, you can shut down the computer, you can restart the computer, and you can sleep the computer. So like that you can do various things. And also if you want to open any program by using start button, when you click on start button, uh, the program appears. So you can select the program and you can open it. Search button. So next search button, you can search for your program or the folder. Third one, frequently used and open program. So we have frequently opened and used program. So for example, if you use MS Word frequently, so you can find MS Word in the taskbar. So if you use Excel or PowerPoint frequently, you can find Excel and PowerPoint on the taskbar. Fourth one, notification area. So you can find this notification area at the right side of the taskbar, and you can see the time, date, and you can see the internet connection, whether your computer has the internet connection, whether you have connected your computer with another device. Like that you can see it from the notification area. Fifth one, peak button. So this peak button, children, you can find it in the right side of the taskbar. We call this peak button as show desktop. We call this peak button as show desktop. And you can find this feature in Windows 7, Windows 8 and in Windows 10. And children, this we use this speak button. So when you open a icon or when you open a program, uh, it covers the full desktop. So what you have to do, children, if you want to view the desktop, you can use this speak button. When you click on this speak button, you can view the desktop. So in this slide, children, you can find four parts of the taskbar. Number 1, start button. This is the picture of the start button. Number 2, notification area. This is the notification area. You can find time, date, percentage of charging, and you can increase or decrease the volume. Third one, search box. You can search for your file or folder, and also you can search for programs. Fourth one, peak button. So you can find the peak button in the right side of the taskbar. So here you can see peak at desktop. That means you can view the desktop. So children, these are the four parts of the taskbar. Change in the desktop background. So here I have given you the steps how to change the desktop background. Step 1. Right click anywhere on the blank area on the desktop. A shortcut menu is displayed. Number 2. Click personalize option. Number 3. Click on the background option in the left panel of the window. Number 4. Choose picture as the option in the background drop-down list. Step 5. Click and choose any available pictures. So in this slide, I have showed you the steps with the pictures, how to change the background picture. So first step 1, you have to right click in any area of the desktop. When you right click, you can see this personalize. Step 2, personalize option. When you click on this personalize option, you can open this changing background window. So step 3, you have to click on background, and then step 4 in background you have to select picture. So when you do these changes, you can see it in the preview box. You can see it in the preview box. Step 5, you can select any pictures. You might have different types of pictures saved on your computer. So you can select your own picture. If you click on this browse, you can select your own picture. So likewise, you can set up the background picture as you wish. Components of a window. So here you can find the components of a window. So number 1, quick access toolbar. In quick access toolbar you can find save option, redo and undo. You can find two tabs here. Ribbon, you can find two tabs, we call it ribbon. Home tab and view tab. Working area, the white screen, we call this working area. And you can find a title bar. So you have, when you open a window, the window might have a name, we called it title bar. And you can find these control buttons. There are 3 control buttons. You can close the window, maximize the window and minimize the window. You have the scroll bars. You can scroll the working area. You can move up and down, vertically and horizontally. Resize handle, you can resize the screen. You can make the screen according to your size. And here this is the status bar. In status bar you can find this magnifying. You can make the page big and you can make the page small, increase or decrease the page size. So these are the components of a window. Thank you and God bless you, children.